You know when someone goes, hi, I don't think we've met before. And you go, no, I don't think we have. But deep down, you're like, yes, we have. Your name is Tim. You have 2 brothers. Both of them work at a law firm. You're an accountant. Your mother's name is Nancy. She has breakfast with my mother on Fridays. They always get eggs.
No one will give you time.
Hey, what is up, guys? It is Mike. And today, I'm going to tell you about the perfect fart. And I thought I'd be over fart stories once I hit college. I thought maybe I'd tell all my fart stories in 7th and 8th grade. But it turns out I got more. But just to preface this, I'm not going to say what class it was, and I'm going to try and give no information from who it was, when it was, where it was, etc. Just because I know it's natural and you shouldn't be embarrassed, but it's still embarrassing. It's, you know, it's just a thing. It just happens. People just get embarrassed by that. Even though you shouldn't, because everybody does, it's still just like, my body was functioning normal in society. I personally don't. Did I just go super out of focus? Okay? Still stuck in these confines. I personally hate farting in public and I avoid it at all costs, but there's some times when it's just unavoidable, and that's always when I start to laugh. I personally hate farting in public and I avoid it at all costs, but the only time I can't avoid it is when I'm laughing, because it's just like, I don't know, but it's just like too much work for my body to laugh and not fart at the same time. Not saying that I fart every time I laugh, but I remember, for instance, I was sitting with my friend Maddie and we were talking and I started laughing about tacos specifically and I just farted. I was like, ha ha ha. And I will always remember the time Maddie said to me, I will never forget the time that you laughed so hard about tacos that you farted. And that was probably one of the lows of my farting career. But I have a hierarchy of things that I would rather have happen than what actually happened. So for example, I would rather burp than fart. Like my number one example is, instead of like sweating profusely, I'd rather just pass out for a second and just, when I cool down, just wake back up not sweaty. Because I feel like we're over that point in history, unless you're an athlete or something, that you just need to drip sweat to cool your body off in emergency, when that's a bad idea. But yeah, anyway, so the perfect time to fart in class. Something you need to know about me is I like watches. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I have 1, 2, 3. The story today is about this one. It's a G-Shock D5600, I forget, but it beeps every hour. So like at 8 o'clock, it's gonna go beep beep. And it's not too loud, it's pretty like quiet, but I was in class and my class was getting yelled at because we all did really bad on a project, and then you get yelled at. That's how it works. This professor also has a very strict rule on technology: no laptops, no phones, no any other pieces of technology, really, just like you, pad, pencil, listen, write. Like that's the structure, and especially now because we're getting yelled at, it'd be horrible to pull out your phone or your laptop, whatever, and you'll get called out for it. So we're in class getting yelled at, and I'm thinking this can't possibly go to the end of class, so I look down at my watch and I realized that it's 1:58, so 2 minutes to 2, and I'm like, oh god, this is gonna beep in 2 minutes, and the professor's gonna freak out on me and be like, what are you doing, Michael? And just slap me across the face like they always do. So I was sitting there freaking out, and in reality I would have never gotten yelled at because that's such a small thing, but at the time I was like, oh man, this is gonna be really bad. So I'm sitting there like sweating it out, and I keep like glancing at my watch, but I don't want the professor to see that I keep glancing at my watch, because then I'm thinking, well, that person will get madder and madder as they see me keep being like, oh, what time is it? Oh, what time is it? Oh, what time is it? So I'm sitting there, I look at my watch one last time, it is 1:59:50. So 1:59, 50 seconds, 10 more seconds, it's gonna beep. So I take my arm and I put it under my desk and I go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi. Someone to my right farted a millisecond before my watch beeped, and they farted loud enough where nobody was like, was that a fart? Everyone was like, yeah, that was definitely a fart. So everyone like paused their brains for a second and like did this with their eyes and like looked over. And that's exactly when my watch beeped, and nothing happened. My professor didn't react at all to my watch beeping because that person farted at the perfect time. It was really beneficial for me. It probably was awful for that person, but for me, it was great. But it really just like calmed my nerves, and I was like, okay, the professor can't be like, what was that? Because then that person's gonna be like, oh, sorry, I farted. But the person instead was just like, oops, and everyone went back to normal, and my watch beeped, and everyone was happy. So I was sitting there just like, wow, that was just so convenient. I feel like I'm blessed. And the other person was like, ah, I just farted in class. So yeah, if you're gonna fart in public, maybe do it at a time that's convenient for someone else, so like you get them out of a situation or something like that. But anyways, I will see you guys next week. Sorry this video is kind of short and simple, but I have a lot of homework to do and I don't really want to fail, because then I'll get in trouble. So I'll see you guys next week. Peace!